All right, Next Gen fam, welcome back to another wonderful edition of Mentor Moments. I am joined by the wonderful Katie Perry, who is the VP of Marketing for Public.com. Katie, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
I can't wait. We're going to dive right in with our fast three, some rapid fire questions, get you on your toes, put you on the hot seat, and let the community get to know you a little bit better. So we'll try to keep these to one word, one sentence, and we'll just run right through them. But your first of the three, what is one book that you would recommend everybody read right now?
Chronicles by Bob Dylan. Huge Bob Dylan fan. You can see him. But yeah, amazing book. I think it won some major awards. Go check it out.
Awesome. Your second question, what is one wellness tip that you would give to the next generation?
Sleep. I always hated sleeping. I still do. I make myself go to bed early. When you get my age, it starts to hit you. So good sleep habits for sure.
Awesome. Sleep is a huge one that we don't get enough, I think, from people. Your final question, and I think the one everybody's most interested about, what stocks are you hot on right now? What's in your Public.com portfolio?
Sure. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take this directly. But a few, obviously Peloton, big fan, been on that one since last fall. They've had a rockin' year. But I just really believe in the company, and I think they got a strong brand and community focus that's differentiated. Another one lately I'm loving actually is Crocs, which Crocs is a publicly traded company. Learned that on Public, which I know we'll get into. But Crocs are having a moment. They have a collaboration launching with Justin Bieber. Just an interesting company. So again, not telling you guys where to invest. Those are just a couple I'm watching.
I gotta shout out my dad, who's been on the Crocs train for years. I used to give him a ton of crap for it. Like, Dad, those are not cool shoes. But I guess, hey, they might be coming back in a big way.
Yeah, seems that way.
Well, Katie, thank you for making it through the rapid fire round. That was a ton of fun. A lot of good recommendation there. Book, sleep, some stocks to potentially invest in, but don't take her at her word. She's not a financial advisor. But now we get to get into some of the meat of it and let people get to know you a little bit more. And I'd love to start kind of back in the beginning, at the beginning of your career. You're coming out of Notre Dame undergrad. Did you always know that you wanted to get into marketing and media? I know you were an entrepreneur at some point along your journey. So how did you get your start, and how did you end up where you are now?
Yeah, so I didn't always necessarily want to be in marketing. I was a kid that I didn't really know what I wanted until high school, and then I attended a journalism summer camp, which is super nerdy, but at Northwestern, and I just really fell in love with journalism and became very active in the school paper. And then at Notre Dame, I studied journalism and I worked on the daily campus newspaper, and I just really loved telling stories, discovering stories, and I was really passionate about that, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. And things kind of shifted. I graduated in 2008, which was right at the beginning of the recession. And I had a really hard time finding a job after school. And it was really tough because I made good grades. I had extracurriculars, and it was just really hard. And it was a really good learning experience. It took me about 9 months to find a job. And in that search, I actually kind of had to broaden the net of opportunities I was looking for. And marketing is obviously different than journalism in a lot of ways, but similar in a lot of ways. So you're still storytelling and, leaning on skills like writing and communicating, but for a different purpose. And so the job I ended up getting by chance was at a search marketing company. So, Google ads mostly these days, but just so happened that obviously that company coming in that period of time, that business was booming. And so when I was at the company, it grew from 100 to 1,000 people. I was the second hire on the marketing team. And, next thing you know, we're in Fast Company's Most Innovative and doing a lot of cool work outside of search and into social. So that was an amazing kind of just fortuitous thing that happened where I met my mentor there and really got a good foundation for my career. after a few years doing that, I worked at a startup. I really wanted to kind of be more at the ground level, and I led brand marketing there. And after that experience, I kind of decided to jump on my own and start my own consultancy. So working with early stage companies on their brand positioning and their content strategy. And then after that, I pivoted again. I ended up working at a publicly traded company in a strategy role before coming back to the startup land. It's been a mix of things, but kind of the common thread has been I'm just still so passionate about storytelling, and really that's kind of been the thread even from when I was in college.
I love that. And I think the storytelling weave, and you tell an excellent story about yourself. And I think, a lot in our community can resonate to, especially right now, the people graduating from college, dealing with, perhaps a similar but also different time to 2008, where they're spending months sending out applications. Nobody's hiring. Where do you go? But, learning from your story, you might find one place that all of a sudden in 2 years is on Fast Company, and you're, kind of in the thick of things.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is a good learning opportunity right now. I think one thing I learned, I was always a good student, and the things you value in high school and college don't necessarily translate. You got to show people what you can do. You got to get scrappy and really show value. And, once you get out of college, nobody really cares what your GPA was or, where you even went. And so it is about kind of showing value, and what value are you going to add to that business? Not, what did you do in the past that looks good on a resume?
Yeah, so true. And pulling on the scrappiness, you're back in the scrappy startup space now, working for public.com as their VP of marketing. For all our community members who haven't seen public.com yet, it is an awesome investing platform that is changing the game for how the next generation is going to invest. But I won't do it justice. So Katie, why don't you talk to us about public.com and the vision that you and the team have for changing investing?
Well, thanks for the tee up. We are a social investing app. So you can think of it as one part mobile brokerage, zero commissions on standard trades. You can buy fractional shares. So if you have $5 and you want to invest in Amazon, you can buy a slice of a share, which is great if you're just starting out. Not a lot of us have $3,000 just sitting around. And so that's a big part of it. But with that, there's a second layer, which allows you to share ideas with other people in the community. So think of it almost as like a Venmo meets business Twitter. You're sharing the why behind your investments. And when you share that why, you expose other people to kind of your thought process. And that can help other people make their own decisions about investing. Not necessarily about copying, it's about seeing how other people are thinking through these businesses, how they're making sense of what's going on and making their decisions, and then having a conversation together about that. And so we're, obviously growing pretty quickly this year. There's been a wave of new interest in not just investing, but business and business news overall. I think business was the fastest growing news category in one report I saw. So you are seeing some big trends. Entrepreneurs are the new celebrities. It's becoming more mainstream to talk about this stuff, which is incredible. And it's a great way for young people, especially, to kind of get started on that journey in a way that's more accessible to them. And so we're really all about, yes, democratizing investing through the tech features that allow you to buy fractionally, but also really just changing the culture of investing, which I always tell people to close your eyes and picture an investor, and they tell me the same things. Kind of breaking away from that and getting a more broader audience of people into this in a more accessible way.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. And having been on the platform myself, I think, we were chatting offline before this too, the social component and being able to see other people's thought processes. And as you're mentioning, being able to invest in the companies that I want to invest in, like Amazon, like Apple, but I don't have, a couple $100 lying around to just get into the market right away. So I think for, the next generation, the ability to say, hey, get in on this, this is like, the market is the best place for you to be able to get your return, and you shouldn't be priced out based on your age. I think you guys are really, doing some innovative and age stuff.
And it's also about the education. So, if you think about it, yes, in the past, if you didn't have money to invest, you were kind of blocked out of the potential upside, but you were also blocked out of the educational opportunity of learning by doing. You couldn't even get started to learn by doing. And so that automatically just kind of blocked some important opportunities to build financial literacy. So we see a lot of people in our community starting small. Maybe they have $100, they split it up across a few things. And any advisor will say, don't invest what you can't afford to lose. So it allows you, even if you're a college student, you have a part-time job, and you have student loans, that's a lot, but you can at least still learn and have that hands-on experience, so that when you do build over time, you've had that under your belt.
Totally, 100%. And obviously you guys are super forward thinking. You're going to change the game. You're already doing it, appealing to the next generation. How are you and your marketing team reaching and engaging this cohort and convincing them to invest using public.com, knowing the fear about, I don't really know if I should be putting my money anywhere. Should I be investing at this age? And so, talk to us about how you're going about, convincing this generation that they can do this and that public.com is the best place for them to do it.
Yeah, from a marketing standpoint, a lot of the challenge right now is just awareness. So we launched out of beta in September. We're a relatively new company. But once we get that awareness, what we see is that our product innately caters to a lot of the natural behaviors of Gen Z and younger investors. And so, based on what I see of this generation, entrepreneurial, scrappy, self-starting. We did a survey. Most people teach themselves how to invest, right? And so young people are hungry for this stuff. And what we see as well is that they're more open about talking about their finances and investing with their friends and peers than older generations, much more open. So they are viewing this as more of a collaborative process. How can we help each other and learn from each other? Which diverges a little bit from historically when you think about investing. It's almost like a competitive sort of environment. I know something you don't know, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. The way the younger generations are approaching this is a little more collaborative. And in addition to that, I think young people, if you think about what the next evolution of voting with your wallet is and investing with your wallet, they really want to understand that the companies they're investing in align with their values. And you hear a lot of people, when they start investing in their 401k at work, I know in my experience, I always knew I was supposed to do that, and I was doing it. Years and years passed by until I was like, what's actually in there? I didn't even know. And so, people want to kind of poke around a little bit more and really, really do the detective work to make sure that the companies they're investing in are things they're proud of, they believe in, and they're not investing in something that they don't want to be investing in. So all of this kind of plays well into the product we're offering.
Amazing, truly amazing. And for anybody who hasn't checked it out, I highly recommend free download off the Apple Store. You can start playing around, checking out everything. But Kay, you mentioned before we jumped on that you guys are also rolling out a college program to help college students take advantage of this and realize, as you were saying earlier, even if you're a college student with a part-time job, you can invest in Amazon for, $5 in a fractional share. Talk to us about that program and how, our next geners can get involved and find access to what you guys are creating.
Yeah, we just launched Public on Campus. So if you go to public.com/campus, you can get the details. Essentially what we're looking for is a group of students who are really interested in getting into investing and helping build financial literacy among their peers in school. And so we will view these people that are partnering with us here as extended members of our team. So offering, mentorship opportunities, bringing them into our company news and announcements, and at the same time kind of arming them with the kind of information to help them bring public and bring financial literacy really to their schools, because we are seeing there's a lot of hunger for this. We already work with a lot of college investing clubs and groups. I have to shout out the Money Girls are awesome, Columbia Women's Business Society. We've done some events with Intern Club, another community, and people really take to it. And so if you're interested in applying, we just opened applications at public.com/campus.
So exciting. And I'm sure all of our next gen college students can't wait. Their fingers are rapidly typing, trying to get right to the application and get in on time. stepping back a little bit from, the day-to-day of what you're currently building and looking more holistically at, the world, at marketing as an industry. At Next Gen, we always talk about the long game and about being here for, the next 10 to 20 years, not just the next, 1 to 2 to, 3 years. So in your mind, where do you see, marketing, investing, even going in the next 10 to 20 years, and how will people have to adapt in order to succeed?
Yeah, one of the biggest trends I've seen in the arc of my career so far is that marketing is becoming more strategic and ingrained in like the business strategy of a company. And so when I first started, I kind of saw it as, okay, someone builds a nice product, they hand me the product, and now it's my job to tell people about it. Because authenticity is so integral right now to brand building and to marketing, and because social media has kind of brought consumers closer to how businesses are run and managed and marketed, there really can't be a gap between your product and what you're saying about your product. And what that means is that marketing is becoming, in my view, more strategic to the strategy of the business. And so at Public, when we talk about our brand, it's not just, what me and my team are doing, it's kind of how are we building towards our mission at every single touch point. So how does our product manifest in a way that aligns with our brand mission? How is our customer support team operating as the first kind of touch point for many of our customers to our brand? And all of those things kind of bake together. So I think if you think about kind of marketing the way it used to be and the way it is now, I feel like it's much more holistic. It's much more cross-functional. Especially at Public, marketing team is very, working closely with product and engineering and support and all of the teams, because it does need to all be in lockstep, because you need every kind of touch point of your business to really be authentic to the message you're putting out in the public.
Totally. And I think super important for anybody in our community too, starting a business, the importance of recognizing how you do need to be authentic in order to really resonate with your consumer.
Yeah.
Hey, I could ask you questions all day. Like, I just want to keep picking your brain, but somehow we made it close to the end. Before we jump off, I got one last one for you. Obviously you're speaking to a next generation audience. What excites you about the next generation, not just in the marketing realm, but when you think about the future and this generation that's, kind of going to be what we've been calling the post-COVID generation, perhaps, what excites you about that future?
Yeah, I'm based on kind of working with people in this incoming generation. I'm just completely in awe of the entrepreneurialism and the engagement. I think this is a group of people who are not afraid to tackle big challenges and approach those challenges in really creative ways. And I just think that boldness, and even just a testament to what you all are building. I know we were talking about this before, but these sort of networks and communities were not there really when I was in college, and I think it's great that, with this generation, it's cool to be entrepreneurial. It's cool to be savvy about business and your money. And I think there's just so many big things to come because of just the engagement and willingness to step up and take on some of these big challenges and not be afraid to do so at a young age. And so I'm really excited to see what's coming next from you all. I think it's going to be, I have a lot to learn. And I say that all the time in Public. I follow a lot of college students. I'm learning all the time. There's a lot to be learned, not just from looking at people older than you, but also people who are younger than you and have different experiences that are really valuable as well.
Definitely. And I can speak on behalf of the whole generation, hopefully, when I say we're going to bring it and we're going to show you and be able to create awesome things together. Katie, thank you so much for this. Everybody listening, definitely check out public.com. Go check out Katie on LinkedIn and everything that they're building. Thank you so much for an inspiring session.
Thank you. That was so fun.